Hello and welcome to the show. I'm a little bit excited today. I've got one of my favorite people in the world actually coming on. He's super fun and he's got a lot of knowledge when it comes to relationships, something that everyone can learn from. Welcome to the Listen to Your Heart podcast. My name is Laura Ratliff, former actress turned global entrepreneur, teaching people around the world to use your thoughts, emotion, and an action plan so that you too can reach your wonderful dream life you know you deserve.
But it's an honour to be on your show. I'm calling from Australia right now, so I'm in the future. Everything's okay. No one's died. We haven't been taken out by asteroids or anything. Everything's okay. Just let you know. Global warming is still here too. Long story short, I grew up on the land on a small country farm not far from Adelaide, and I went through school like everyone else, and I had relationships, and like any teenage boy, I guess. I got into the military. I was in the Army Reserve for 9 years. I was a jeweler by trade, and I was going through all of that. I was in a very serious relationship for about 6 years, and then I caught that girl having an affair. I had my grandfather pass away, and I had 2 Visa cards maxed out, and I had $5 to my name. It was the lowest point in my life, and I thought, I've just got to get real. And I thought, if wealthy people they're doing something I'm not. So that started me on my whole journey on business and relationships. Then I started my own business as a jeweler, and slowly I worked into the SA Gold Traders business that I have now. Then probably about a year and a half ago, I had another business couple, friend of ours, who are very heavily involved in multi-level marketing. They were very go. The wife was more into it than he was. He was always looking after the kids. And then just out of the blue, she said, I didn't sign on for this, and I'm out. And it really triggered me. I just thought, well, what? Now you've got another 3 girls that don't have a dad, and statistics show that kids from broken relationships have broken relationships themselves, and the whole road smash happens again. And it just really triggered me. I thought, well, the church is not doing much really. They just teach the same old thing. And I'm a Christian myself, and I found that frustrating. And I just thought, well, there's got to be somebody doing something. And my wife said, well, if you don't teach what you know, how does that service anyone? And I thought, well, it doesn't. So I just decided to start doing something about it.
That's awesome. I love that, being of service and sharing the knowledge that you've learned from. Oh my gosh, everyone's guilty of this. You know, you go into one relationship, it doesn't work, go into the next one, go into the next one. And it's like you're not even thinking, okay, maybe I'm doing something wrong.
That's right. You just have to have, I guess, like you said, people just don't realise that, there's 5 different love languages. And if you've been married 3 or 4 times, you have to stop and think, well, maybe all those women aren't bad, and maybe all those men aren't bad. Maybe the common factor in all of this is me. So maybe I'm the one that's damaged or don't understand. See, here's an example. I went through a lot of relationships when I was in my 20s. And, you might buy a girl $80 worth of long stem roses and you give them to her, and her reaction is very, well, yeah, whatever. And you think, and as a man, you think, oh, you ungrateful bloody so-and-so. I just spent $80 long stem roses and you don't care. But her love language might have been quality time. So she would have got much more out of it if you said, honey, how would you like it if we turn off the TV and we go out somewhere, we go out to a nice dinner, and that would float her boat, not giving her roses. See, my wife, I could give her roses until the cows come home and she's like, yeah, whatever. But her love language is acts of service. So if I come home, kids are in bed, done the dishes, all that sort of stuff. While she's in the bedroom, if I come out and have a nice bowl of warm water and put her feet in it and put some Epsom salts and get her favourite TV show, feed her chocolate, she just thinks I'm a god.
That's
because it's acts of service that floats her boat, not roses.
You keep on talking about this love language. I'm dying to know, obviously every single person has a language that they respond to. Walk us through a little bit about the love language that you go by.
You really want to get hold of the book 5 Languages. I think it's by Lee Chapman. He's no relation to me. I wish he was. But there's 2 books. There's one for adults and there's one for kids. For any of you that got kids, you'll know that you treat one kid differently, and that you can't treat them the same. But my love language is quality time and physical touch, you know, and that includes special mummy daddy time. That's me. Whereas Belinda, she likes acts of service. Some people like words of affirmation. If you tell them they're doing a good job, that really floats their boat. And this goes into if you've got staff, you can't treat all the staff the same. If you've got one receptionist and she loves quality time, now obviously you can't spend quality time with it. That's inappropriate. But if you've got a receptionist and her love language is quality time, you want, when she's done a great job or it's receptionist day, buy her some tickets to the movies for her and her partner. She will think you're the best boss on the planet. If someone likes physical touch, obviously you can't do anything because that's inappropriate as a boss. But if you buy her some vouchers to go get a massage, one staff member gets tickets to the movies and one staff gets tickets or voucher to go get a massage, because they're operating on different things. And they both think you're the best boss on the planet.
I love that. And you can really apply that to anything, like
anything.
sales, a business, whatever it is, in your personal life and so forth. That's amazing. So I'm dying to know, I know, Lee, you have you called it a man camp. What is that all about? Tell us a little insight to that.
Man camp.
Oh, like the Tim from
Tim the Toolman.
I love it.
I guess as men, we really suck at relationships. It's just the way we're wired. You know, we're very action orientated. We're very focused. It's just the way and we're not emotional. I'm not saying women are more emotional. It's just something that we don't possess as much as women do. Like women can do 4 things at once. Men can't. It's not good or bad. It's just the way we're wired. So men don't typically like to learn at conferences or at churches or sales rooms. So we certainly put our walls up straight away. You know, if our wife drags us to something, we're already, I don't want to go, you know, I don't want to learn anything. Our walls are already up. Where I developed Man Camp to take guys out to learn survival skills because it's just cool. There's a bit of danger involved. So they're already open to learning new things. So while their walls are down and they're relaxed, at the end of the night when we're sitting around watching caveman TV, we can say, I'd say, well, you know, there's 4 different personality styles. Do you know what yours is? When they go, no. Well, okay, well, do you know what your wife's is? And they go, well, no. Well, let's work with that. And that can help you in sales and business or anything else. And then you can work out, well, what's your love language and what's your partner's love language? Most of them have never actually heard it, and they actually take it on because they're already in the zone of learning something new. Their walls are already down because they've already spent the day making spears and, you know, using bows and arrows and lighting fires and all that sort of manly sort of stuff.
Lee, you've kind of found the common ground that all the men, the boys, the guys, whoever you want to call them, can all bond and then talk about the real issues that are kind of preventing them to, I don't know. The deeper stuff that we don't like to talk about. Like, you just don't go up to your mate and say, oh, does your wife do this? We just don't do that. Yeah. Like, women think we do, but we don't. So what are the ages of the Man Camp?
The legal stuff now that unless you bring your son, you come with your son, it could be at 15 above, but if you come by yourself, 18 above, just for the legalities and all that sort of stuff, yeah.
That's awesome. And for the listeners listening, whereabouts do you have the Man Camp?
It's about an hour and a half out of Adelaide, which is right in the centre of South Australia. So for those of you that are in the States, that's Australia, not Austria, right?
I get that a lot.
Speak good English for an Austrian. No. So go to South Australia. It's technically, if you look at the map of America, it's where Texas would be. Yeah. And we're down south, and it's about an hour and a half out of Adelaide in rural South Australia, so out amongst the mallee and forest. That's good fun.
Fantastic. I had the pleasure of listening to Lee Chapman speak in Sydney, Australia a couple of years ago, and he had the audience going. You were just connecting and were absolutely amazing. And you did speak about the disc very at the thing, and you gave really great explanations. Yeah. For the listeners listening, can you give a little bit of a quick explanation of what?
Sure. Disc profile, you can actually look it up on the internet. You can do it online. It's basically somewhere between $70 and $80, depends on where you are. And you ask about 60 or 70 questions. And there's not right or wrong. You can't cheat it. Just answer the questions. And when you get the report back, it's a kind of scary. It's like someone's been talking to your mother. It's very accurate. And basically there's four types of personalities. So you have a D, which is very domineering. A lot of CEOs are Ds. You have a C personality, a bit like accountants, very calculating. You have Is, which are very bit like Laura, a bit like yourself, like I love to party, like I's. You're an I, right? I had you pegged, right? And the S's are very laid back and very whatever, I'll go with the flow. And usually find they're the direct opposite is the people that really grind your gears. So you might have had a teacher at school or a workmate, and they're a bad person, they're just your direct opposite, and they just drive you nuts. Not right or wrong, but when you get your report back, it'll say, it'll have your disc, and then it'll have a pattern in the middle, and it'll show you which way you pull to one side. The trick to being really great in business, and all the really great business people in the world, like the Tony Robbins, if you look at people like that, Richard Branson, if you looked at their profile, they're very much in the middle because they can relate to anyone.
Wow.
And that's the trick to business is to find out what yours is and relate to that. I've had people come into my business and I've had them pegged as soon as I talk to them. Someone comes in and go, I want the price of gold and I want it now. I know that they are a D, and I'll say, I'll get that right for you right now. And they just, man, this Lee dude, he's on the ball. When I get someone else that comes in and that says, hi, I just want to get into gold. I've never done it before. I go, sure, let me get that for you. I'll get it straight away and I'll do it right now. And they think, oh, Lee, just love Lee. He's fantastic, because I know that person is an I. So it's once you get it done, I suggest it's the best $80 you'll ever spend in business, and especially in personalities. You'll find out what your kids are. You'll find out what customers are. It's almost like a secret unfair advantage, but it's the best thing. I wish they taught it in school. It's fantastic.
Now, you mentioned that Tony Robbins and Richard Branson are in the middle. Do you think that that's taught, or were they just born like that they could connect with anyone?
I don't necessarily think it was. I think it's a learnt skill.
Yeah.
I think that Tony probably learned it from somewhere else. It's been around for a long time, and if you're in this sphere where you're doing, if you're a life coach, if you're in that sort of realm or industry, you'll come across it naturally anyway because you're searching for it. But it's been around for a long time. I think it started back in the 60s when they were starting to do a lot of psychological stuff back then. But it's probably the best $80 you'll spend. And if you buy the 5 Love Languages book as well, and it comes on audio as well, it's worth getting.
What is your favorite personal development book? I'm dying to know.
But Think and Grow Rich.
Oh, me too. Love it. Cool. Yeah. Great. And next 5 years, what do you want to achieve in your business and personal? Whatever you like to share.
Next 5 years, baby, I'm going to be in America teaching man camp full time in the States. That's
fantastic. Well, we need to chat about that.
I will talk to you more about that over a drink while I'm seeing you in Utah. Don't you worry about that.
Fantastic. Well, guys, I will tell you when he's coming, and I will share that information of where the man camp is. I wish I was a man. I want to go.
Well, I might even have to do a women's camp because I'm getting few women saying, why do men think this and why do men do that? And right. So there may be a chick version. So,
but now, Lee, how do we get a hold of you? What's your website?
You can look me up on mrleechapman.com, or you can just look me up on Facebook. I pretty much live there.
Lee, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your journey. Look out for Lee Chapman, guys. His information is life-changing. It can be applied to your personal and your business life. And remember, grow your mind and grow your life. Hey, you're still here. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to see another video like this, hit the subscription button below and comment. I'll see you on the next video.